guys, it's Debbie, and today I would like to speak about Lovin', which is a historical drama film based on the true story of Richard and Mildred Loving. The film was selected to compete for the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival this year, where it actually received a standing ovation. Since then, it has received positive reviews from critics. The film is set between the 1950s and the 1960s in the United States of America, and is the story of Richard, a white man, and his marriage with Mildred, a black woman. At the time, what people called interracial marriage was illegal in Virginia, the state in which the couple lived. So after discovering that Mildred was pregnant, the two decided to travel all the way to Washington, D.C. to get married. When they returned home, they were arrested, as their marriage license wasn't considered valid in Virginia. After pleading guilty, they were sentenced to not return to Virginia together for 25 years. They secretly returned to Virginia for a very brief time in order for Richard's mother, which was a midwife, to deliver Mildred's baby. After being arrested for a second time, they decided to contact a lawyer and start a legal battle against racial laws, aiming at the Supreme Court. What the Lovings did was absolutely groundbreaking in history, as it was one of the first steps against the laws concerning what they used to call interracial marriage. Unfortunately, the story of the Lovings is hardly heard of, although their bravery was really important in American history. The director Jeff Nichols told the story of the Lovings as accurately as possible thanks to the documentary The Loving Story, which had extensive footage and information from the Lovings' private life. Unfortunately, as I said before, many people were unaware of the couple's story and their legal case, which made history. The film beautifully shows us their legal battle, but also shows us the private relationship between Richard and Mildred, and how they struggled to live a normal life in a world which looked upon their love as if it were a crime. Richard is a hard-working, caring husband, and Mildred is a calm, loving mother, and they have never committed any crime, but yet they are forced to meet in the dead of night against their parents' will. They even kiss in public, they receive looks of disgust, and the hate they receive is so strong that they actually have to listen to sentences like, "It is unfair to bring children of mixed race into the world." But they never give up, and Richard never regrets his love for Mildred. They fight for their rights, and they do all of this with no violence. They obey the law, they do as they are told by police officers, they don't resist when they're arrested, and when they talk to their lawyers, they don't get angry, they don't lose their patience, they just say they want to be able to love. When their case starts to receive attention from the public, they are offered the chance of being interviewed by a magazine. The couple is nearly surprised by this offer, as they weren't even considering the idea of speaking to the press, as they just wanted to obtain their rights. Mildred seems quite interested in being interviewed, but I think it's more of the glamour of being interviewed by a magazine rather than wanting to boast about her legal battle. And this says a lot about how even the most common things make a headline, where the most groundbreaking steps are usually made in silence. I also found the film visually stunning, with images of the small town in which Richard and Mildred lived their humble life. We have this beautiful scene in which Richard and Mildred speak in a field where they are planning on building their house, with this really long grass moving in the wind around them. And then later on we have the contrast with these important lawyers with their suits and ties sitting in their posh office in front of Richard with his checked shirt and Mildred with her plain dress, speaking legal jargon which neither of them understand. They just want justice. The director has a no-frills approach. He shows the Loving situation just as it is. He doesn't sugarcoat their situation, and this is what makes the film so special, because this shows everything that went on behind the headlines. We see the couple's fears, the paranoia which slowly starts to catch up with them as they have this growing fear of the police. And it is incredible how we can look back on these situations and realise how much has changed in the last 50 years. But these films are here also to teach us how much more we have to work to fight against discrimination. Our ancestors have placed the foundation, and now it is our job to continue their work, to fight against discrimination, which unfortunately is still present. There is still a lot of work ahead to end it once and for all. Let me know if you saw Loving with a comment here below, and I'll see you soon in a new video. Bye!